guys, how's it going? Welcome back to another live stream. Back to another live stream. Back
100 times?
to another live stream.
200 times?
Back.
500 times?
Probably.
Who is Jose Arteaga?
Jose Arteaga is a YouTube content creator with several channels focusing on different themes.
I can't do it. We'll do it live. Thing sucks.
His main channels include travel vlogs and lifestyle content. On his travel channel, Jose Arteaga Travels.
You ain't got the answers, man. You ain't got the answers.
Additionally, he runs a cooking channel and engages in other personal projects that highlight his diverse interests and expertise. Projects and expertise. Projects and expertise. Projects, project, 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 expertise.
Hey, what's up, guys? How's it going? Welcome back to another Jose Unleashed, another episode, another very special, fun episode. Oh no, I already screwed it up. Ay, see?
Bruh.
Off to a marvelous start as usual. But anyways, guys, all right, let's get back into it. So, to a very, very special episode. Hope you guys are ready to have some fun. Today, we are going to be doing football all day, all episode, because it's opening day for football. So, hope you guys are ready. All right. Shout out to Goomer out there. Hope you guys, hope you're doing all right. Sorry, you got to go back to work. I got to go back to work. We got to get this show on the road. So I decided to go on ahead and put up the, a fake football game in the background so you guys can enjoy that. Here, let me get my head out the way so you guys can see the game. And let's sit back and enjoy the game together. Might as well, since it's football season. And so this is, the opening day game for the Miami Dolphins. We are playing the Jaguars at home. We play them on Sunday, but tonight we're actually going to be playing, the game is the Ravens versus Kansas City. Ravens, Kansas City. That's the game tonight. And, I got really good friends that are Baltimore fans. And I'm sure anyone out there in the AFC at the moment, you're not a fan of Kansas City. So, therefore, you're probably most likely, going to be rooting for the Ravens. But it's going to be a great game tonight. Should be two juggernauts, going at it, which is, basically, again, the Ravens, Kansas City. Kansas City won the Super Bowl last year. The Ravens got really close. The Dolphins, the Dolphins just being the Dolphins, as usual. But with all that being said, hey, at least we made the playoffs last year. Hopefully this year we can win a few games, and hopefully this year we can take it all the way to the Super Bowl. But it doesn't matter, whatever team you're cheering for, football is awesome. It's an amazing sport. And something that I realized living out here in Mexico is the fact that, NFL football and football is actually more widely played and known around the world than we actually like to admit or even know. Most of us Americans, that watch NFL, American football, we think that the only country on earth that plays that plays football, American football, is the USA. Because we can't even say Canada, because Canada has their own, their own league with their own rules, and it's very different, very different than the NFL. And, with that being said, the people have no idea that there's countries out there like Japan, Mexico, Brazil, I could go on and on, that not only play football, but they love football. So in Mexico, they have their own league, and, with professional teams. Obviously, it is not like the NFL, but it is still pretty close, in the sense of like, it's a professional league, so it's as close as you're going to get to Mexico standards right now. Hold on a second. So, with that being said, hold on, I'm just texting my friend because my friend's coming over to, to watch the game later. He's a Baltimore fan.
Bruh.
All right. Yeah. So, anyways, guys, how about you guys tell me in the chat, what are you guys going to be doing for the game tonight? Or what team are you watching? Oh, I see DG out there. He's a Seahawks fan. Go Seabirdies. All right, go Seahawks. You guys, I was actually living in Seattle the season you guys won the Super Bowl, and I was out there, basically, celebrating with you guys. That's as close as I ever got, to a Super Bowl win or Super Bowl parade, was with you guys. So I got to thank you for that. And I'll always be a Seabirdies fan. I always call you guys Seabirdies. I call fucking Dolphins, for fish. But I mean it out of love, not out of disrespect. Go Seahawks, and I'm a Seattle Seahawk fan because the time that I lived there and the fact that I got to experience the Super Bowl run. So that was pretty awesome. Hold on one second, guys. I'll play here. I'll let the simulator.
The touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. Johnson jostles free. And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26. Out comes the Jacksonville offense as they get set to take over here. Lawrence bringing the Jaguars up 1st and 10 at their own 26. Now ETN to start the drive.
Guys.
And he gets forward up the middle, but only for a couple. It'll be 2nd down.
Brandon, to me, what's important right here on this drive is for them to get at least 2 first downs. They've got to give their defense a chance to settle down, catch their breath a little bit after they give up a touchdown on the opening drive.
They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. Lawrence will throw. That's caught by his tight end, Evan Ingram. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. That one covers 24 yards. It's a 1st down.
And that was good protection there. No, that was great protection there because it allowed him to lock in on his receiver, although I think he was looking for his tight end on the corner route all the way. Nice connection there for a really nice gain.
Here's Lawrence to throw. Thomas has got it. Complete. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. Another good gain. That's now 35 yards combined on those last 2 plays.
I think that's a big pickup for a 1st down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a 1st down.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. All right, we're back.
Looking to throw, Lawrence.
Good game, huh? We got a good game going on here. Them Jaguars, let's see how the game turns out. But anyways, so yeah, sorry about that. I was just, getting together with my friend because, so today we're going to be talking about tailgating, tailgating stories, the times, all the times, that I've gotten fucked up, the ones at least I can remember, we're going to be sharing today. I was just getting together with my friend, again, because he's a Ravens fan and, we're in the same division, same, AFC, and then he's playing Kansas City, so it's a big game. It's kind of like I wish it could be a tie as a Dolphins fan, but really the outcome I'm going for here is the Ravens. I want the Ravens to win. I'm a low-key Ravens fan as well, because as a Miami guy, I'm from the University of Miami. And we have some of the best NFL players in the league, period, in the story. And so therefore, yeah, I'm always going to be cheering for teams that heavily emphasize, picking Miami guys. So the Ravens, that's why they're so awesome, because they pick a lot of Miami guys, from the University of Miami or Florida guys. And so therefore, I've always kind of like cheered for the Ravens. And so, yeah, we're going to be cheering for them tonight. Not a fan of Kansas City, even though I love Mahomes. I love, Patrick McBride's, brother. But I love Mahomes. He's fucking awesome. And, and I love, Andy Reid, he's fucking great too. Is it Andy Reid? Yeah. I forgot the coach. But anyways, but I'm a fan, it's just that I'm not a fan because, we got to play them. And so I just kind of don't want to deal with that. I wish I could just, we could just, they could be in the NFC or whatever. But it is what it is. Hey, we had the Patriots in the Dolphins division. And even though I hated the Patriots, I really didn't hate them. I just hated them because, we had to play them twice a year. We get the rivalry. But there was a lot of respect, with Brady and the Patriots. And I'm a big Brady fan. Belichick, whatever. But I love Brady. He's all about the Brady. But anyway, shout out to, I'm guessing Goomer is an LA an LA Rams fan. I don't think he's an LA Chargers fan, but either or, I like both teams. I lived in LA as well. But I always assume the Chargers, associate the Chargers with San Diego. Kind of weird that they're playing in LA, even though they're not really playing in LA. They're playing more like in Orange County, but that's another story for another day. The LA Rams, that's awesome. You know what I mean? So big fan. I saw Dolphins game, LA Rams and whatchamacallit, and Dolphins. Yeah, Dolphins and the Rams. I think first season that the Rams were in LA at the Coliseum, and that was fucking awesome. You know what I mean? That was really cool to see the the professional game there. One of the last times I think we would see a professional game there, right? Because they built the Lo-Fi Stadium or whatever it's called. But anyway, shout out to DG. So Seahawks fan. So yeah, I remember back when I moved to Seattle. I moved to Seattle in January of 2013, and so I was there through that whole season and the whole run. And I got to celebrate with you guys, and then I got to see the heartbreak. When Brady beat you guys. Well, you guys threw the passes that are running it. We were all there. I was watching live with all you guys, and then we went up to Capitol Hill, and celebrated, fucking acting a fool, before they turned into the fucking autonomous zone or whatever. Back then, we were just celebrating Super Bowls, right? So before they took that shit over. But anyways, Char with the Steelers again. I don't hate the Steelers. But I respect the Steelers, I'm a fan, kind of low-key a little bit, I used to watch The Bus, Coward, all those guys, you know what I mean? So, shit, even Cordell Stewart, I was going back, you know what I mean? Remember when he was a wide receiver / quarterback? So, yeah, and then, obviously the Steel Curtain, the 70s, all the Super Bowls. So, yeah, big, super awesome franchise there. Again, don't hate the Steelers, but, in the case of cheering for the Ravens and being a Dolphins fan, fuck the Steelers, you know what I mean? Like, I wish you guys the best, but, you guys are in the AFC, whatever. And as for the Seahawks, again, you guys are in the NFC, don't really give a crap. Oh, actually, we play you guys. I forgot. We going to Seattle, and you guys are probably going to kick our ass, all right? So you guys might get a win against the Dolphins week 3, right? Because I think the Dolphins are going up to the Seahawks. And I think week 3, right? I'm pretty sure we're going up there week 3. And you guys probably kick our ass because we're going to have, tons of jet lag. It is what it is. Or not. Or not. We'll see. So, yeah, anyways. But yeah, no, Seahawks, actually, the Seahawks are doing all right. You guys aren't that bad. Come on now. Come on, Seahawks are doing all right. I wouldn't be that down on them. In fact, I'm very happy with the quarterback you guys got. What the fuck is his name again? Because I remember he used to play for the Jets, back in the day, and they kind of threw him away. And I'm glad that he was able to, resuscitate his career with you guys. So yeah, if you guys had the same quarterback as last year, you guys will be all right. You guys are rebuilding. It is what it is, It's I'm still not. I mean, shit. At least you guys have won a Super Bowl in the last 20 years, same as the Steelers, same as everybody else except the Dolphins. We're one of the teams. We haven't seen shit in 50 years or whatever. So, I definitely haven't seen any winning in the last 20. So it is what it is. But yeah. Let's talk about some stories. Jeez, I'm out here, yapping away about football. We're going to just talk about, you guys want to hear about my drunk stories back when I was young, right? So, again, I grew up in Miami. And back when I was a teenager, it was in the 90s. And, I was 18 years old in 2000, 19 years old in the year 2000. And so around that time, that was already during the time that the University of Miami had its greatness. University of Miami was kicking ass and taking names and continuing to do that into the early 2000s. Still very feared and respected team. So we did that. And then the Dolphins, we still had Marino up until he retired in 99. And, we were a winning franchise. Even though we didn't get a Super Bowl, we were a very, very winning franchise. And then, after the year 2000, that's when shit hit the fan, when Marino retired. And then, Shula had already retired. And then, at that point, it was just like the whole rebuilding of the franchise. Because, we had no-name quarterbacks in there. Again, it didn't matter. Even though in retrospect, we look back and like, fuck, man, we had good teams in those early years. We could never respect or love the team in those years because it was after Marino. And it was almost like, we were just good enough, but not Super Bowl contenders. So, I grew up in those times where, again, we would go to Dolphins games, or watch them all, tailgate a lot, watch them a lot. Definitely University of Miami games, tailgate there a lot. A lot of times that was more of the fun. And, for example, I remember, man, do I have it here? No, it's in the wash. But I have a University of Miami shirt, okay? That I've worn before, a green shirt, and I've had that for, over 20 years. I can't believe I had it that long. But on that shirt, I remember that, back in probably the early 2000s, when me, my girlfriend, and my friends, and his girlfriend, we went to go see a University of Miami game at the Orange Bowl. I forgot, maybe it was even FSU, and it was jam-packed. And we got crazy drunk pregame before we made it in because, we were young, probably like 20 years old or something like that. 21 or whatever. We got really crazy drunk, and then we made it into the stadium, and then, we all got too drunk, too drunk to the point where I forgot everything, you know what I mean? Like about what happened that night and that game and that everything. Not just me, but everybody. But I remember I even kind of like threw up on myself, which I never, ever, ever throw up. But I can imagine how drunk I was. And we were sitting up in the nosebleeds. And you already know, no food, no nothing. And or we had food. Yeah, we ate food. But still, more alcohol than food. And, young, drunk, and stupid. And I'll never forget that because I remember that vomit stain, the acid from the stain was basically imprinted on the shirt for years and years to come until eventually I just, washed away or got worn away or whatever. Because now the shirt is like thin, like, almost breaking apart. But yeah, it's just interesting, like that's just one story, but that was already towards, the end of my tailgating, heavy tailgating partying days, because I remember, back in, again, basically 18 years old, 17 years old, whatever, and we would just go to the games. And so, the Dolphins games, that's where we really would tailgate the most, but we would definitely tailgate for the University of Miami games, but it was different because it was two different stadiums, so two different types of tailgating. So what do I mean? So when we would go to the Dolphins games, they had a proper stadium. It's a big stadium in the middle of nowhere and just, park and lots. And we're in Florida, so it is heavily encouraged, for people to tailgate. So basically, people show up 8 hours, before the game, and they set up their tent, they set up their thing, and they start tailgating heavy duty. So depending on the game, depending on when they would show up. And so a lot of times, people would show up, like basically as soon as the gates open, like 6 in the morning or whatever. But what we would do when we were really young and stupid, we would party through the weekend. Okay, maybe see a University of Miami game, maybe not. Definitely get drunk on Friday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Saturday. And on Saturday, again, we would drink all the way through the night, party all the way through the night. Miami, South Beach, all kinds of drugs and alcohol, whatever. And we would just, drink to the point where, we would be getting Taco Bell 5, 6 in the morning. All right. And so we're getting Taco Bell at that time. And then we're going back, stumbling home for a couple hours to change, shower, get dressed, whatever. And then stumble back, still drunk, and drive to the fucking stadium. And then, just get there early enough, where maybe, let's say the 1 o'clock kickoff, we get there at 11. And so we get there 11:30, we pound a few beers. We drink some more hard alcohol, depending on what we were doing. If it was just me and the boys, we would just buy some hot dogs or whatever the fuck, on the way into the stadium. All the vendors, Latin food, get an arepa, get a sandwich, get a Cuban sandwich, get a fucking hot dog, whatever, just because it was cheap, inside the stadium is expensive. And we need that money for beer. So, we would just, buy whatever food, and stuff our face, to make sure we can keep drinking. And again, this is like, 21 maybe. Those maybe we were younger. We had an older guy, whatever. The point is like, Miami is Miami, especially 20 something years ago. So we would be drinking, okay? And we would have drinks in the stadium. I remember that. And I remember doing this way before I turned 21, all right? I definitely did it after. But the point is that the younger we were, the less of a budget we had. So we had to do things like, again, do a lot of pregame, get drunk before, eat cheap hot dogs, eat cheap whatever. And again, this is just if it was us and the boys. Now, a lot of times, we would be meeting up with other people there. So, for example, even though we were partying or working, because we worked in the restaurant industry, whatever, we worked, partied, whatever, all through the night, and then we barely showed up, again, at 11 o'clock the next day to the stadium. We had other friends, there were, how do I say this, more well-behaved, I guess. And so they actually would, go to bed early and prepare, like a giant tailgating party situation. And then they would go and they would open the fucking stadium at 6 in the morning or whatever. And then they would set up for reals. They would really set up a whole thing. And they love doing this. Every once in a while, we would also do that, but very rarely. We would just kind of like tag along. We did it as we got older. But anyways, yeah, come to think of it, the older friends are the ones that did the whole proper tailgating. But anyways, so they would just be tailgating there all day. You know what I mean? And all morning, all whatever. And then we would just kind of show up, and they already had the food ready and this ready, and yeah, it was just great. So, it all just kind of depending on the situation. And that was at the Dolphins games. Those are the games at the Dolphins Stadium. And this is for 1 o'clock games, typical Sunday, after very young, heavy drinking, heavy partying, all that bullshit. But obviously things change. Let's say we're going to a Monday night game or a Sunday night game or even a 4 o'clock game. And, whatever. You have more time to tailgate, okay? And to, get some rest, to get before there. Now, the University of Miami games, well, those are a completely different animal because, that's college. And you're with your college friends or, friends or people of the same age, when you were going to a lot of those games. And we had University of Miami, we had FIU, we had other, kind of college stuff too. So imagine that, you know what I mean? You're at the frat or you're hanging out with the boys or with the friends, you're out there trying to get girls, trying to do all the stupid shit you do when you're 18, 19, whatever, senior year in high school, right out of high school, you're going into all that shit. And yeah, you know what I mean? All the fucking fun from that. I'm sure a lot of you guys can remember, but imagine like being in a big city that's very, again, even though we're in the big city, it's the South, and we love our sports. You know, it's not like the big city in New York and being at the frat. No. You know, it's very different. So, you know, yeah, you know what I mean? We would party, you know what I mean? We would have fun. We would, you know, again, Friday night, you know, a lot of times, you know, right out of work or we were done with our day on Friday, you know, get dressed, get ready, go out to the college, or, you know, some of the college, your friends' age, you know, the same friends, the college age, all that shit, you know, you're the ones that would be partying, you know, in South Beach or at a house party or whatever. There's always something to fucking do. But worst case scenario, you end up just in the college, fucking around in the college. And yeah, you know, you basically wake up the next day and you only got a few hours before game time. And, you know, you're definitely not showering. You're definitely not anything. You know what I mean? Like, are you kidding me? For the most part, you know, because you're just, you know, in that world. And then, you know, the game's at 12, you know, so... yeah, you know, most of us had to wake up early, you know, to go to the game because, you know, when you're that age and you're getting fucked up, you know, you're waking up at 2:00 in the afternoon most of the time. So you had to wake up early, you know, to make it to the game. And then, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, that's it. You know what I mean? Like, it was just like, one thing after the other. I remember this one time, I remember I remember the game, that FIU, had, you know, to open their football program. Okay, they were like super beyond D1, you know, whatever the lowest rank of college football was. We went to that game, and I remember, I'll never fucking forget this. This is how stupid I was. You know what I mean? I literally had a fucking drug test the next day. All right, and guess what the fuck I did that night? You know, all the drugs, all the alcohol, all the everything. And I told myself, oh, the next morning, you know, I'll just be peeing it out and I'll drink that special, you know, that tea that you drink, you know, in order to pee out. But the thing is like, it didn't matter how much fucking tea I drank. My fucking blood and my everything was so fucking, you know, like, it was just... I failed on everything, all right? I got a big fat F, so I did not get that job. But anyways, I remember that day, because FIU was still, I mean, it wasn't a new university. It's an older university, but, you know, obviously it's FIU. It's not the University of Miami or FSU or anything like that. But they were opening up their football program, and we went to like the first fucking game, and it was like in a basically like shit. The stadium was so crappy that some of our high school teams in Florida, in South Florida, are so big and so powerful that they have bigger stadiums than the fucking FIU stadium was. But anyways, you can imagine, you know, how jam-packed that stadium was, and you know how drunk and fucked up we got, and man, that was some fun times. I'll never forget that. But yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I remember one time I got really, really drunk, you know, again, in like one of those scenarios before a Buffalo game, because I forgot everything about that Buffalo game. That's how, you know, when you forget about how drunk you get, you know, that's when you know you took it to the next level. But for the most part, I genuinely remember a lot of the games I went to, and a lot of the, you know, drunk episodes that I did. So like I said, so back in Miami, you know, football, believe it or not, as popular as it was still kind of like a hard sell. And even though they still got people to basically almost fill up the stadium, the reason they were able to do that is because they had cheap tickets. And so that's why we would always be able to go to University of Miami games or just regular Dolphins games, because you know, they always made the tickets accessible. So, for example, in the case of University of Miami, well, they made the tickets accessible because, simply put, you know, they wanted, you know, that place to be jam-packed with people, all right, for the, you know, home field advantage of drunk kids, and it's college. And then when it came to the Dolphins games, well, you know, they had to compete with the University of Miami, and they couldn't, because, you know, they were a better game, you know, and they were winning championships, and Miami wasn't doing shit. And so it was a harder sell on the Dolphins, you know, so the Dolphins always had cheap tickets because, again, they needed to also fill the seats. And back then, they had to sell out the games because otherwise they would black out the games. You know, they would do the blackouts, and I know they still do blackouts, but it's different. You know, back then you really could not see the game. You know, today you can still see the game. There are ways to see the game. You know what I mean? So definitely back then it was very different in that sense that you know, a lot of people. It wasn't like we were, you know, a lot of us young dumbasses, you know, we would go to the games. Now, you know, the older I got, the more, you know, I'd rather watch the game at home. It's a lot better experience to watch it at home. And it's just a, you know, just better watching experience. You know, when you're watching it, you know, like a fan, and you want to see the plays, and you're into what the defense is doing, and the offense, and the offensive linemen, and what are they going to do? Okay, when you're into all that bullshit, when you get older, like an old fart like us, you know, yeah, you want to watch it at home. But when you're young, no. Young, you want to watch that shit live. You want to be there live. There's just something about the energy, something about all that shit. And, you know, I've gone to games, you know what I mean? Like when I was in Seattle, you know, I went to Dolphins games, you know, one time that they went to visit, and I went to Seahawks games. I also went to, you know, I saw the Dolphins in the Coliseum in LA. I seen the Dolphins, you know, when they played the Chargers. So I've seen the Dolphins, you know, in other places. I've been to other stadiums, you know. I've seen other. I went to see the Mariners, you know, when I was in Seattle. You know, not the Marlins. You know, obviously I saw the Marlins. You know, so I'm a big sports fan. I like sports, but yeah, you know what I mean. Like at the end of the day, like you know, there's, you know, with that time that you know, the FIU game that I was telling you about. You know, part of all the craziness and the fun that we had was that you know, basically we were so drunk and so fucked up after the game that we were just you know, going through all the dorms. You know, all the freshman dorms, and we were just, you know, causing a ruckus through all the fucking hallways and all the whatever. I remember, like I said, during the Buffalo game, you know, it was a 1:00 game, and that was when I was like really young, and we got really fucked up. And I remember everything was great. And, oh yeah, what I remember about that day was the fact that it was me, my friend Mike, and some other dude. I don't know. I forgot the other dude. But it was the three of us, right? And you know, we went to, you know, we were hanging out the whole weekend, and you know, that was the end of, you know, kind of like the culmination of the weekend. There was going to the Dolphins game, and I remember, you know, as we were going to the game, we were all drunk and fucked up, and you know, the weather in Florida can be iffy, you know, meaning that it could be very hot and sunny and amazing, and then, you know, stormy and rainy. So as we were kind of going to the game, it was like, you know, about to, you know, rain and storm. And it was like, oh man, this is going to suck. We're not going to really be able to tailgate. You know, I don't want to drink and smoke in the car, you know, before we go into games, you know, whatever. But then as we were making it there, all of a sudden, like the sea, you know, what is it? The sun came out through the clouds, and there was, you know, no rain. And so basically we got to the stadium, and it was nice, and the weather was nice. And then, you know, we were drinking and getting fucked up. And then, you know, we started, you know, throwing the football around and just hanging around. And then before we knew it, you know, we were just kind of like walking around a little bit, and we saw these other three dudes that were really old, well, really old to us. You know, they were probably like in their 50s or whatever, and they were doing the same thing we were doing. You know, fucking around, having, you know, but they got there a little earlier, you know, professional. They were already professionals, and we were, you know, still rookies when it came to all that shit. And yeah, I remember that they accepted us, you know, into their little pack, you know, and there was three of them and three of us, and, you know, we kind of looked alike, you know what I mean? Like, you know, anyways. And so, yeah, we started throwing the football around a little bit. They made some extra burgers and hot dogs for us, and we gave them some extra alcohol because, you know, we were always packing. We had weed, you know, we were fucking weed, you know, and so it was like, it was fucking great bonding experience. And then that's it, you know, we went into the stadium, and we never saw them again. And, you know, it was a Buffalo game, you know, like any other Dolphins-Buffalo rivalry game. It was great. But I forgot about it because I really did get super drunk, you know, because we had such a good time with those guys. And it, whatever, in retrospect, the fucking game didn't matter. It was more about the experience, the tailgate. And that's the thing. You know what I mean? You know, it's very rare that when you go to a game, you'll be at a game that's like fucking wow. Look, how about this? You know, I remember one time I went to a Hurricanes game, and it was against this little-known guy named Michael Vick, and, you know, Virginia Tech, all right? And, man, You know what I mean? Like, that was awesome. You know what I mean? Because that was like, you know, Michael Vick was still like unknown, kind of. You know, obviously he was like a good player, you know, and Virginia Tech was, you know, he was putting them on the map. But, you know, they're playing fucking the University of Miami. We were going to stomp them. And basically, we barely won. But holy shit, you know what I mean? I got to see Michael Vick live in the flesh in college, you know. And that game was one of the games that really, you know, really put him up there, because it's like, wow, look at this guy Michael Vick, what he did against the University of Miami defense and all those other shit. So I got to see him live at the Orange Bowl. That was fucking cool. And, you know, many things like that, you know what I mean? Like just seeing, you know, being at the Orange Bowl, you know, the fact that the Orange Bowl doesn't exist anymore. I got to see them tear it down, and they built Marlin Stadium there. Got to see many games there. And then, you know, obviously many games at the Pro Player Stadium. That's what we used to call it, which is the stadium you're watching this right now at, that stadium. But look, you see that stadium there? My dad, when he was alive, okay, my dad helped build that fucking stadium, okay? My dad helped weld, you know, a lot of the, you know, arm bars, you know, when you're walking up and down the stairs, and a lot of, you know, the iron work. But that's how old that stadium is, right? That stadium was built in the 90s, I think, or late 80s. And yeah, you know what I mean? And so I remember the Dolphins moved from the Orange Bowl to that stadium. And that stadium was fucking awesome because it was always so big, you know, very spacious. And yeah, you know what I mean? That's why a lot of events are held there. You know, Super Bowls are held there, things like that. But yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I have so many stories. I forgot, you know, about many of the stories. But yeah, you know, I remember, you know, seeing the Dolphins, like I said, you know, multiple times, you know, man, you know, dozens of times. I don't know how many times, but many times at that stadium, and seeing the, you know, like I said, like the in tailgating, you know, for both the Dolphins games and the Hurricanes games. But so a lot of times for the Hurricanes games, so the Miami Hurricanes, they played in the Orange Bowl, right? And back in the day, it was in, you know, again, downtown, and, you know, it was very, very difficult to get parking. So basically, it was in the middle of the city, but it was in the hood. So basically, how it worked is that if you drove your car and you wanted to park close to the stadium, there was no parking in the stadium, you know, unless you were like a player or, you know, VIP, or you worked in the stadium. You know, only like a, you know, small, tiny group of people could park in the stadium, but not you. So basically, you had to park around the stadium, but there was no parking around the stadium. So, you know, you had to basically park your car. Okay, so it was all projects for the most part, or buildings like projects, you know, kind of like apartment buildings and older Miami homes and all that stuff. So you had to, so people in those areas would sell their yard or backyard, or just their, you know, area, you know, where you could park their car, and they would sell that to park your car. And the thing is that, you know, sometimes it was great, but sometimes, you know, when you would get back, you know, from the game, you know, or if you wanted to leave early, you couldn't, because you realized like all these people parked around you because the guy was just selling as much as he could, and basically they blocked you in, and there was no way for you to get out of your car. And I remember one time we made the horrible mistake of leaving early, or no, I don't think we left early. No, what happened was that, like, just the guy that had the car, you know, behind us, he never showed up, or he got too drunk. I don't know what the fuck happened. But anyways, we went to our car, and there was a guy parked behind us, and we couldn't get out. And then, you know, basically, you know, we had to like abandon the car. We had to figure out another way to get home. And then, you know, eventually that guy, you know, took his car. You know, I guess he got drunk or arrested or whatever. And, you know, it wasn't until then that we were able to get the car out. So that's how, you know, bad that parking situation was. But yeah, very not good. It was not good. And so for the most part, you know, we tried to avoid that. You know, again, whenever you go to the game, you always kind of take one spin around, because, you know the area, you know the parking situation. So there are spots that you can park, and there is a way out. Okay, so you're good. You know, but back when you're young and dumb, you know, you're not even fucking considering that someone's gonna park behind you. You know, so. Or that the guy's gonna allow that, or whatever the fuck. So yeah, no, I'm telling you, like, you learn. But anyways, what a lot of times what we would do is that we would park in other shady, seedy areas. So not too far away from the stadium was the downtown area where they had the hospital, where they had the courthouse, where they had, a lot of the government buildings and things like that. So, there were, whenever you did jury duty, whatever the fuck it is you were going to do, so they had these parking areas that were under the underpasses. In fact, if you remember the movie Scarface, and at the beginning of the movie Scarface, when they're doing the riots, all the Cubans are doing their rioting under the underpass. Those are the parking spots. Okay, that's the area, literally. All right, but anyways, in those areas, that's where you would park, and then not only would you would park there, but then you would walk all the way to the stadium and then walk back to that area. And you basically, how it worked is that you couldn't really tailgate there because you're in the middle of the fucking city, but you were in the hood. So one thing what most people did is that they would just drink all the way. Again, they would drink from the moment they parked the car under the underpass or in those areas, in the hospital area, the courthouse area. They would park around there, and then they would just have their alcohol ready, or just stop by a liquor store or whatever, or a gas station, and just pick up beer, alcohol, and then just drink, put it in the paper bag, whatever the fuck, non-discreetly hide it, nonchalantly hide it. Anyways, and then just make your way all the way, walk and drink all the way till you got to the stadium, and then just, finish, do the after, do the pregame before you go in. Again, especially if you're young, going to the Orange Bowl, watching the Hurricanes, you're broke, all that shit. So yeah, you're fucking pounding alcohol, as much as you can get in, because again, if you're young enough, you're probably not going to be able to get it sold to you in the stadium. So, you're drinking as much as you can, and then obviously you're sneaking some in, and then you're eating cheap food, out there, and depending on the situation, you might wait to eat afterwards, which is like, that could be a mistake, if you wait too long. Because, if you're drinking on an empty stomach and you think you're going to make it through the game and then you don't, as opposed to eating something before you go in, help soak it up a little bit. But yeah, you know what I mean? And then we would just do that. And then we would just stumble drunk back all the way, and then drive home. That's it. And so we would do that, yeah, you know what I mean? And we would just drink and party different times. Now, again, I can't remember every single fucking time, that, we got drunk, because that was every time, right? Every single fucking time, but, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of fun, a lot of memories. And like the funny thing is that, like I was telling you earlier, I don't really remember many of the games. Not like they ever fucking mattered anyway, for the most part. But I remember a lot of fun memories, and a lot of, again, it was a lot of fun to be had. Most of the fun was all before the game. All the craziness was before the game. Getting to the game. Getting the pack ready to go to the game. Dealing with whatever the fuck you were dealing with, before the game. Meaning like, oh man, we got a fucking party on South Beach. We got this, the night before. What are we going to do? It's like, fuck it, don't worry about it. We'll be out by 5 and, we can make it home, take a shower, we'll meet up at the stadium or so we'll meet up at Mike's house at like 10 in the morning. It's like, well, if anything, we could crash over there, yada, yada, yada. Sometimes we will fucking be coked up, just fucking be up all night on coke, on whatever other drug, ecstasy, fucking a lot of alcohol, everything, And then basically, like I said, it was always just like a party through the night. And I remember, like I said, many times, a lot of times when we would get to Sunday, a lot of times by the time we would get to Sunday, the real party and the real tailgate, the fun, the craziness was always at the Hurricane games, But again, it wasn't always, the case, because, sometimes we'll go to the Hurricane game and then the Dolphins game. But again, not every week, were both teams in town. Sometimes it was just one or the other. And so, a lot of times, Dolphins were on an away game. And so, we get to sleep in on Sunday. And then on Sunday, we would just go to the beach or go to the, do a barbecue, go to the park or go whatever, And depending, like if we're just going to the beach with the friends, we can wake up whenever, go whenever. But if we're going to the beach with family, then we got to wake up early, just like, we're going to the Dolphins game type of shit. And so, that was basically the routine. And, again, if the Hurricanes were in town on Saturday, that's where we were getting fucked up and, focusing around that, the game, the stadium, all that. And if not, FIU or whatever. And then if not, then we would just do, okay, let's go to the South Beach, let's go to a house party, let's go to another event, let's go to another party, let's go to another thing, and do all of that. So it all just depended. But very rarely, not rarely, but, whenever we would get the chance to have Dolphins games, a Hurricane game and a Dolphins game all in the same weekend, that was the ultimate thing. So on Friday, we would do the partying, the South Beach or the house party or the whatever. We would do that. Okay. Then on Saturday, it was the game, Hurricane game, party, all that and whatever. And then, either recover or keep partying, through Saturday night. And then on Sunday, the Dolphins game. So if we recovered on Saturday night, then, we were definitely going early to the tailgate. But if we kept partying all the way through, we're basically running on fumes by the time we got to Sunday. So we would just stumble, to the stadium. And then, like I said, we would just do a little thing on our own, or whatchamacallit, or go hang out with somebody else, that we're already setting up. Whether it was family or friend, that was set up the whole tailgate thing, and then go into the game. And then the game, believe it or not, I think that's why we forgot a lot. I forgot most of it, because a lot of times the game, that was like the rest. We're resting. And back then, you see, like right now, you see that there's all these shadows on the stadium. They added all this stuff to like, block out the sun. But back in the day, no. So you're basically, what is it? Not drunk. What's it? Hungover. You're basically hungover from the night before. Then you're nursing that hangover with more alcohol and fucking hot dogs and hamburgers and bullshit like that. And then you're sitting in the fucking sun, okay? In the stadium that's jam packed. Everybody cheering and getting more drunk, more fucked up. For 3 hours, okay, 3+ hours, and then. By the time like 4:30, whatever rolled around, you're fucking exhausted. So you're fucking exhausted, then you stumble back to your car. You're basically leaving the stadium. Again, fucking 80,000 people leaving the stadium at the same time. So you're leaving the fucking stadium. So by the time you get home, it's like maybe 7 o'clock at night, give or take. So you're fucking dead exhausted. So again, you get home, exhausted after a fucking crazy weekend of partying, and making your way home from the game. And this is what I would do: just get home, take a shower, all right, roll a blunt, and order myself a Papa John's pizza. I fucking miss Papa John's. Anyways, order myself a Papa John's fucking pizza, all right, and then smoke my brains into oblivion, trying to recover for the weekend. And then eat my Papa John's while watching Sunday Night Football. And, again, on the East Coast, I think we still, I would have watched the Sunday night pregame. And then, ESPN, whatever, all the highlights of all the other games. Because back then we didn't have anything. So the only way I would know what was happening in the rest of the league, besides the Dolphins game, and wanted to see what else happened with the other games, I would sit there and watch ESPN until Sunday Night Football or whatever, they had. And then, Sunday Night Football would play. And then, that's it. Just pass the fuck out and then, go to school, work, whatever the fuck on Monday. So, man. And it was just like, for years it was like that. Now, I think that, I did that for sure, through the years of like 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, I was probably done. 22 was probably my last year. But that was a very kind of normal and constant thing from maybe like 18 to 22. but by the time, it was 22 and over, that's it. You can't be doing shit like that. You're trying to be more responsible, right? And trying to, just not get fucked up every single day, every weekend, every whatever. So, yeah. It's kind of like how it played out, how it was. But yeah, I mean, how about you guys? You guys have a lot of tailgating and fun experiences, you want to share out there. And by the way, so that was like my years of like, again, 17 through 22, give or take. And then after that, obviously, we still go to games, but it was just more like, like an adult thing, you know what I mean? So we go to the games, we're doing a little pregame, but we're not getting fucked up, you know what I mean? We're just doing a little pregame, then in the game, we're getting, having some drinks, smoking, whatever, you're getting fucked up, but not fucked up, you know what I mean? Like a triple buzz, like you're getting, getting fucked up, but not fucked up enough, where you don't remember whatever. So, and that's it, you know what I mean? Just enjoying the game, whether it was a football game, or a baseball game. As I got older, I would go more to baseball games. So the younger I was, more American football and really no baseball. Even though I went to baseball games as well, but they were boring. They were whatever. That's something I would go with my grandpa, my father. Not my father, but like, my grandpa, or, some bullshit like that. You know what I mean? Like, some... it was just like a date, we go with the homies and our girlfriends, some bullshit we could do on a Saturday afternoon or whatever, right? Or a Wednesday night, So we do something bullshit like that. But it wouldn't, as I got older, then I really got to enjoy baseball games and go to baseball games a lot more than football games. And then, so baseball, I like watching in person. I like being at the stadium. And, I like watching it on TV, but I would prefer to watch it in person. And then when it comes to football, American football, I much rather watch it on TV. And, it's all great to watch it on, in person. But I feel like you really, really get to, see everything, have the full experience on TV. So, the older I get, the less I want to get fucked up and I want to enjoy the game. Back then it was more about the camaraderie, the experience, the tailgating, the pregame, the whole experience, the whole thing, not necessarily the game. But now it's more about the game. Now it's just like I care about the game, not necessarily, taking care of a hangover the next day or whatever, or getting, over. In fact, this weekend, so tonight, again, my friends are coming over. We're going to watch the game here. And then on Saturday, we're going to get together. We're already going to get together for something else and just have fun. Maybe watch some college as well. And then on Sunday morning, I'm going to be doing the Nursing the Hangover, uploading the video to my other channel, watching the Dolphins game, kind of like how I used to do in old times as well, Because that's the thing, like I was telling you guys earlier, by the time we got to the Dolphins games on Sunday after a weekend of partying, we were just nursing the hangover and just kind of like watching the game. And that's it, So, because college football was just like the party, crazy, But the Dolphins, it was just like the more professional thing. So it was like, you're more well-behaved, more, like we're at the Kentucky Derby or whatever the fuck, DG says, ladies hate their men's having fun. Yeah, you're right. A lot of toxic women, are like that. But, thank God not my woman. My woman's, she's awesome. She enjoys it when I have fun. And actually prefers it, when I get out of the house or whatever, So it's all good. But, yeah, I totally get you. Those are no bueno. Hanson says, Minnesota State Fair is the same way. Oh, awesome. Yeah, man. That shit looks like fun. I wish I could go to that. Parking in homes and lawns in the hood. Ladies didn't like it when I was 28 and still tailgating. They called me a loser. Oh, no. See, that's the thing. It's not like that with us, because, like, again, there's just different kind of tailgates, Like, the older you get... Okay, how about this? When you're young, your focus on the tailgating should be getting drunk, getting high on drugs, just having fun, being stupid, being young, dumb, stupid, whatever. But the older you get, then you got different responsibilities. The responsibilities are, you got to barbecue, you got to handle your liquor, you got to, cook the meats, you got to afford to, put on the spectacle. So when the young bucks come, they got something to eat or whatever. So it's like a different kind of experience, And to me, I'm tailgating. Today we're tailgating. Whatever. My wife, I'm watching football. It's not a big thing. But I totally get it. I mean, there are, a lot of, people out there that are just not fun, So, but you're not a loser, Hanson. All right, you're not a loser. Don't worry about it. Yeah. By the way, so yeah, Hanson, you should, you live in a college town. You might as well go check out the tailgating fun. But yeah, I mean, that's the fun part. The fun part is the tailgating. The fun part is the party, before, after the game. So again, if it's like a big game and it's a big win and there's celebrating to do after the game, oh yeah, forget about it. You find the energy. You create the energy out of nowhere to do that. So look, I'm not going to lie. I never went to a Dolphins game, okay, ever, that after the game we were cheering and celebrating, throughout the night. Maybe a big game, big win, so we're celebrating, talking some shit to the opposing fans as we get to the car. That's it. We get to the car, we go home. But University of Miami, oh my God, multiple times after a win, sometimes it was just, an excuse, because we were so fucking rowdy. But anyways, most of the time, after a big win or a win, holy shit, man, it was just like the whole thing would just spill over. You know what I mean? That's why like the party will go on, and by the time we got to Sunday, we're recovering, and we're just more laid back. But yeah, you know what I mean? Like if we're playing like the Gators or FSU or some rival, and we beat them, oh my god, you know what I mean? Like the fucking spillover party would just be into Sunday. It would spill over into Sunday. But I mean, sometimes that would happen when we would be playing like fucking Rutgers or A&M or whatever, some bullshit team anyway. Just because it was college kids and it was just different, kind of thing. So, but yeah, I love college football too. To me, they're both different games. I know they're the same game. American football, professional football, and college are the same game, but they're different. You know what I mean? Like way different. Like there's a lot of fun in the fact that, you get to see all these young kids. Most of these kids are just going to be a dentist or a fucking astrophysicist or whatever the fuck. They're not going to be playing football forever. They're just playing in college. So you get to see just a bunch of regular folk playing with a bunch of people that are going to be doing it professionally. The NFL, they're all professionals, so it's a different thing. And, it's a lot more, obviously things are more like precise and things are more whatever. But yeah, like the fun of the college is the fact that it's all these kids playing and like, just and then all the kids in the audience and they just everything. The whole fucking environment is fun, it's very, roughing the kicker there. Anyways. So yeah, you know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, I mean, oh, geez. I mean, I this is why I love, the football too, because it's like, it's such a, I don't know, rowdy and aggressive game that basically it, has you like in a feverish, a fun state mode all the time. So, I mean, tonight, we're going to be watching the game. And so like normally, if my friends aren't coming over, I'm just watching the game while I'm doing some work, doing some whatever. But, obviously, now we got my friends are over. They're Baltimore fans. We're going to be watching the game, have a lot of fun. And so now it's like you got, more than one person cheering. We're drinking. We're having fun. And, it just turns into something completely else. And so, we're going to be tailgating today. A little mini tailgate because, we're going to just be getting together right before the game. We'll be drinking and ordering some pizza, some tacos. This is we're in Mexico. And, enjoying the game, having fun with the game. And, hopefully, hoping, that the Baltimore Ravens beat the Kansas City Chiefs. So, all right. Look at that. Seems like the Dolphins in fake in fake football world are winning here. Look at that. 42-17. Hopefully that's the same outcome we have on Sunday. That would be epic to see the Dolphins win. And to see the Ravens win. And to see the Vikings win. And to see the Steelers and the Seahawks win. So, hope everybody gets a win today. On Sunday. This weekend. Week 1. All right. So, okay, guys. Anything else? I think that's it. I don't know what else to say. I think I've ranted enough about football. I don't know what else to say. So, I think we're going to wrap this bad boy up. Look at that. I think the Dolphins are about to score one more. Maybe we can end it on that.
First quarter. They were gone in the first quarter, and what we're watching now is a defense mentally giving in and sagging a little bit because they haven't been able to stop him.
That's right.
59 yards rushing for him now to this point.
I know that every now and then we get in those meetings with coaches, and you almost want to roll your eyes when they talk about staying on schedule when they're moving the football. But would you say a 7-yard run is ahead of schedule?
Fourth quarter with a lead, you love that, don't you?
No doubt about it, because staying on schedule is trying to get 4 downs on first down. They did that, plus 3.
And he's able to get it down to the
Don't get a concussion now.
Good
Jesus.
work on the scamper by Tonga
Look at him.
Vailoa.
He doesn't know where he's at.
As he came
Jeez.
to the line of scrimmage, he knew he didn't
Very
need much
real.
to reset the
If it's in
chains,
the
so when he saw
game,
the space
it's in
he
the
needed,
game.
No hesitation. He went
Look
to
at
the
that.
marker and got his guys a first down.
Tua could be the next Terry Bradshaw. Terry Bradshaw won like 4 Super Bowls with like 38,000 concussions.
Mostert
Look at that.
will score.
Let's go.
Touchdown, Miami.
Well, he's been the workhorse on this drive, and it would have been
We got Adrian De La Torre says, once the NFL went woke, I stopped paying attention. I mean, you know, I don't care. You know, to me, it's like it doesn't fucking matter what, you know, the advertising is. You know, at the end of the day, that's all it was, you know? So, I don't care if they're advertising Budweiser or Black Lives Matter or fucking, Marlboro cigarettes or, whatever, Twinkies. Who gives a fuck, all right? You know, just I want to watch my game, all right? So, I mean, that's the way I saw it. I mean, obviously, you know, that's all it was. It's all it is. You know, I'm not seeing any fucking princesses. I'm not seeing any Dolphins players, in tutus, and fucking ballerina outfits out there yet or anything like that. Still the same ass fucking game we grew up watching. In fact, seems like more fun. Same as baseball. But yeah, the advertising sucks. Sometimes you like the advertising, sometimes you don't. So it is what it is. DG says, it's like tailgate more. Season just started. We'll get hotter and hotter. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we're definitely gonna. It's only week 1. We got a lot to tailgate, a lot of fun. To have the Miami Hurricanes won against the Gators already. We got a pretty easy schedule, so the Miami Hurricanes might be doing a lot of winning. We might win a championship this year, and we'll be awesome. And with the Dolphins again, we got a lot of high hopes. So better produce at the end of the day. We got to make it happen. So enough talking and start producing, start winning. So let's see. A lot of high expectations on the Dolphins. Let's see if they can, produce some wins, produce some, some rings, some anything. So we got a lot of talent. Hopefully we can bring back a Lombardi, or at least a playoff win or two. So. Hanson says, congratulations to everyone for making it to another season. Oh, thank you. Yes, it was a very, very difficult offseason. You already know. As soon as the Super Bowl's over, deep depression hits most people until, today, when the season is back on. So, how long has it been? Like, mid-February? And now we're in mid-September, early September. So, how many months was that? So, let's say February, right? No, wait, from February to March, April, May, June, July, August. So 6 months. It's been a, pretty sad and empty 6 months. But here we are. We're back. So, Haseen is a Dolphins fan. Shout out to you. Thank you. Thank you very much. And that's it, guys. So I think we're going to wrap this bad boy up. I got to get ready to party. You already know how it works. We got a lot of tailgating fun to be had. So with all that being said, I'm going to wrap this bad boy up and gonna get out of here. So hopefully you guys have a fun weekend. Hopefully you guys get to enjoy your football games. Hopefully your team wins. Hopefully you get to have some fun times barbecuing, tailgating, whatever it is you're gonna do. Shout out to all of you guys. Shout out to all your teams. Hope everybody gets to win. And that's it. You know what I mean? Except your opponents. I hope they get to lose. So all right, guys. So with all that being said, you already know the deal. If you like this kind of content, don't forget to please like, please subscribe, please share, please the bell icon, but more importantly than anything else, please stay fucking awesome. I love you guys. See you guys here next Thursday, next week. Hope you have a lot of fun this weekend. And go football. Love you guys. Peace out. Hey, guys. How's it going? Welcome back to another live stream. Back to another live stream. Back
100 times?
to another live stream.
200 times?
Back.
500 times?
Probably. Who is Jose Arteaga?
Jose Arteaga is a YouTube content creator with several channels focusing on different themes.
I can't do it. We'll do it live. We'll do it live. Thing sucks.
His main channels include travel vlogs and lifestyle content. On his travel channel, Jose Arteaga Travels.
You ain't got the answers, man. You ain't got the answers.
Additionally, he runs a cooking channel and engages in other personal projects that highlight his diverse interests and expertise. Projects and expertise. Projects and expertise. Project, 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 project.